Welcome to the Public Sector Marketing Show, a podcast for government and public sector marketing professionals who want to level up their digital marketing and social media knowledge, skills, and strategic thinking. And now, welcome your host, Joanne Sweeney.
Hello and welcome to episode 60 of the Public Sector Marketing Show. Social media for good can be powerful. It can transform a crisis into a solution, fear into hope, and silence into support. When used from a place of good intent, social media can change lives. In today's show, I'm sharing a story that epitomizes just that. From Ukraine to Carlow in Ireland, we hear from a Ukrainian mother who has fled her home with her 3 daughters while her husband stays to fight for his country on the front line. It's a story of hope and hopelessness, but one filled with utter resilience. And through social media, this story is now being shared across Ireland and beamed into Ukraine as Tanya uses social media for good. And so I'm asking you to join me and let's use our social networks to promote the So Now project. Social media has transformed the world. The democratization of the internet, the free availability of Wi-Fi, and access to smartphones has given voice to causes and campaigns right across the world. Previously, the voiceless had to try and get their story through mainstream media, lobbying politicians, and advocating for themselves through community groups. But now we all have a voice and we all can express free speech on any social network that we please. But it's really important to remember that comes with that opportunities are responsibilities to engage in what I call social media for good. There's a lot of hate, vitriol, abuse, trolling, stalking right across social media, and countries are now leaning into legislation to try and mitigate against the damage that it can do, because not everybody is using social media with good intent. But for those of us who are on social media and spot a genuine story, maybe it's a charity campaign, then I think we do have a responsibility to amplify in the name of social media for good. And this episode really is about inspiring all of us to maybe take some time and give some of our attention to causes that are perhaps greater than our own mundane issues. So that's kind of my ask of you today. Next time you're on social, you see a campaign that potentially emotionally resonates with you. If you see it as social media for good and you think that you can help, share it.
Level up your social media skills by taking our diploma in social media, plus gain an industry qualification. Use the code SOCIALMEDIA20 for a 20% discount.
Visit publicsectormarketingpros.com.
Before we meet Tatiana and Jackie, I just want to tell you a little bit about the So Now project. And of course, they'll go into a lot more detail on it. But So Now is asking the people of Ireland to go into their local Centra or SuperValue store and spend €5 on sunflower seeds. And this is all so that we can stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine who have arrived in Ireland for their own safety. Of course, it is their intention and their heartfelt wish that they get back home, and they hope that their visit here is temporary. But while they await the outcome of the invasion in Ukraine, they are here with us, and we can expect potentially up to 200,000 citizens from Ukraine coming here over the next number of months. It might even exceed that number. So standing in solidarity with the So Now campaign involves us buying the seeds for €5, but planting them in our communities or in our garden, because in a couple of months, those seeds will turn into sunflowers, and hopefully Ireland will look a little more like home for our Ukrainian friends. The sunflower has long been a symbol of pride in Ukraine, which is a shell of its former self since the Russian invasion over 2 months ago. On February the 24th, a video of a Ukrainian woman went viral. She was pictured handing sunflower seeds to Russian soldiers, saying, "Take these seeds so sunflowers grow here when you die." Today in Ireland, sunflower seeds are being sold in our local shops because Tatiana Pankov, who has sought safety in Tullow in County Carlow, wanted to contribute something meaningful and positive to her locality and to this country. Along with Jackie McNabb, who has opened her home to Tatiana and Tatiana's 3 daughters, they have together launched the Sow Now campaign. For context, I have known Jackie for almost 20 years. We both worked in the Chamber of Commerce movement. She was CEO in Carlow. I was CEO in Letterkenny. Jackie is now head of enterprise at Kildare County Council, but has taken annual leave to help Tatiana make this idea a fantastic reality and a huge success. And all of us can also help them make a huge success. But let's hear from both ladies. Jackie and Tanya, thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to speak to you both.
And you too, Joanne. Thanks so much for having us.
So, Tatiana, please let's start with you and tell us your journey from Ukraine to Ireland and how you got here and how life has been since you've arrived.
Okay, it was very hard to me. It was, I arrived in Ireland with my 3 daughters, and I arrived here on March, of 2nd March, and I didn't know nobody here, and I met here a lot of wonderful people who helped me and my daughters with the documents, with home. And first people who met I'm airport, it's Poland people who take me in this town, Tullow town, and I met here Jackie. And also I have a lot of support from Tullow friends and Jackie. They helps us with schools, with home, with everything. And also Jackie helped to do this project, sunflower seeds. Because she saw that it's very hard to be here in Ireland and know all this news, what happens in Ukraine, and it's very hard to sit and do nothing. And also a lot of Ukrainian people here near Tullow, in Carlow, a lot of Ukrainian people came and stay here, and that's why Jackie do this project to help to be useful all Ukrainians who stay in Ireland, and that we can do something for Ukrainians who are staying in Ukraine to help them.
So it's over 100 days now since the war began, and have you contact with your family back home?
Yeah, I try to contact every day with them. My husband now in the East on a war, he fight, and my parents in Ukraine, my sisters with her family.
Yeah, that's really difficult. And how are your girls settling in Ireland?
They fine. They go to school. The youngest is very good here, maybe because she has friends from Ukraine in her class, and older girls also fine.
Yeah. So, Jackie, what a story since meeting Tatiana and her wonderful children. It's been quite a journey for you also, but
this is one story of hundreds of thousands of displaced Ukrainian civilians who have escaped. Not everybody got out, and who are trying to make temporary homes in other countries, because we know everybody wants to go home. You know, they want to be at home. So how did you meet with Tatiana and her girls?
Well, Joanne, first and foremost, I suppose I had been part of a group of volunteers in a local parish centre called the Tulla Friends of Ukraine, and like so many other communities right across the country, including your own hometown, putting donations together and sending them to the Polish border. And at that point, my name had been out there as somebody you could contact if you wanted to donate. And a gentleman who had met Tanya and the girls in the Dublin airport, didn't know me but knew of me, reached out to me, asked me would I know of accommodation that could take them. We had a home that we could offer, and I suppose myself and my husband, like so many other Irish people, had been watching the news unfold, feeling absolutely useless and helpless and wondering how we could contribute in some way. So the hosting was always something, but I never had anticipated it all happening so quickly, and I suppose I hadn't anticipated how big a part of our lives the Pampi family would become and how much we'd grow to love them. But I suppose, Joanne, the most common question is from many people is, how is Tanya and the girls settling in? And my answer is pretty constant, and to say they're not settling. That's never going to be an option, because they all want to go home. What they are trying to do is make every day just livable, while they worry about their loved ones out there in horrendous conditions and in constant danger. So they are, I know that Tanya constantly pays gratitude to so many people, and they are internally grateful, but they want to go home. And so many Ukrainians, they want to go home. And why wouldn't they? Like any of us, if we were, pushed away from our loved ones and family because of this horrendous war.
And from the sorrow and the pain that you're going through, became a wonderful bud of an idea that has blossomed into a nationwide campaign, an online campaign, and transforming the landscape of Ireland at the same time. So tell us about So Now, Tanya. Do you want to tell us about it?
So Now is a project of Jackie. It's like all Ukrainians who stay here want to support and help people who lives in Ukraine, who stays in Ukraine, and as you know, that sunflower seeds is the symbol of Ukraine and of independence of Ukraine. And Jackie do this project like the support of Ukrainian people. It's a very big project. A lot of people do the greatest job, and it's huge work. And we all very appreciate for everything that they do for Ukrainian and Ukrainians in Ukraine. It's I'm very grateful.
Sorry, Joanne. One of the biggest, as Tanya said previously, she was sitting here feeling that, what can she contribute to those back home? And that's what the So Now project was to do, to raise much needed funds for the Red Cross Ukraine appeal so they could assist the war effort. And I suppose while I had the idea, I had a huge amount of support, and particularly from Rachel Doyle in the Arboretum Garden Centre, who was instrumental in helping me source the seed. And then so many people who volunteered to support myself and the girls pack all the seeds, to develop the website, to do the graphic design. We've had so much goodwill and support to get the project to where it is today. And to the Irish public that have bought their seeds to date, the idea, extended beyond fundraising to the whole sentiment that when all of these flowers are sown, that for a little while in September and October, that when those sunflowers bloom, that Ireland would just look a little bit more like home for so many displaced Ukrainian people.
It's quite remarkable in its idea, but also in the logistical rollout and what you've achieved so far. So you managed to get a nationwide retail distributor to put them in stores on nearly every corner in Ireland. You have since launched an e-commerce website and are selling them online. How have the public responded, and what is your call now for help right now? What do you need?
Well, I suppose, I'd have to say, when people see the pack, it's very distinctive. It's in the Ukrainian colors. So now for Ukraine is the mantra. But I see almost a relief as people pick them up, because it's something tangible and physical they feel they can do. And they're almost gratitude. I spent 5 days in Bloom, and every second person, Joanne, just said thank you for doing what you're doing. And I didn't take that as a thank you to me personally. I took it as a thank you and an expression from the Irish public that you've allowed us buy into something and feel somewhat useful in doing this, in buying the seeds with the proceeds, and then making that symbolic gesture of sowing and showing our colour for Ukraine. And so what I'd ask now for the month of June, many people would perceive that it's too late to sow, and it's not. Rachel Doyle of the Arboretum would suggest that you sow by season and weather, not by month, by the weather. And if you plant the sunflower seeds in small pots this week, you'll keep them for 2 or 3 weeks in your windowsill and plant them out by the end of June. You will have a glorious bloom of sunflowers in September. And it really will be a show of colour, of solidarity for the Ukrainian people, who for many people are fighting our war. It's a European war. It is so close to us. These people are standing up for independence and democracy. And how brave are they to do that and sacrifice so much in the name of democracy and humanitarian salvation, really.
And Tanya, I'm sure you found this project really helps you focus your mind and know that you are doing something really, really important for not only your family, but your country back home, because not only are you raising money, but you're spreading the message, and every single pack of seeds that arrive into a person's home, there's a family there, a discussion will start, a family will get together and they will plant them, just like I did with my son. And that is as important as the money that will go back, because Europe needs unity and solidarity. And, we saw your Vice Prime Minister over in Ireland this week and sharing the message. So you are advocating and you are doing great work in being a voice. So I think that we should say thank you to you. And I know how appreciative you are, but you don't need to keep saying it to us, because, Ireland is a place of 1,000 welcomes. And,
I must say that I appreciate all of Irish people, all of Ireland even, because not only for myself, all Ukrainians even who packing these seeds, because a lot of Ukrainians also do this work with us, and they also very grateful because they also have a little piece of them, and they also
Contribute.
yeah, they want to support everybody, and they want to be helpful, and I must say thank you for all. Huge thanks for everybody for everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a wonderful project, and it brings a bit of a light and joy amidst all the darkness. So, Jackie, we really have to go and try and get people to go and sow their seeds in June. Get the pots out, sow the seeds, and then take a little video or a photograph and share it on their social networks, and be the person that is advocating for this too, right?
Absolutely. It's the equivalent symbol of sticking the Ukraine flag outside. So do this in every house, in every club, in every business, to show that you truly not only are fundraising, but you do stand with the wonderful people of Ukraine in solidarity.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to speak to you both. Congratulations on what you've achieved so far. I'm sure it'll only be the first of many ideas. If Jackie's involved, it won't stop there. And yeah, I wish you both well. And Tanya and your children, I wish you so well also. And if you ever want to come and visit Galway, come and visit Galway. I'd love to see you and host you over here.
Now, there's an invite. Thank you so much,
thank you.
Joanne. Thank you very much. So people can get their seeds, Joanne, in the Arboretum garden centres, as well as SuperValu and Centris nationwide.
Amazing. And what about your website? Do you want to give that a plug?
Yeah, you can also buy online, and we will post them out to you on www.so-now.ie.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Buy the seeds for support Ukrainian people.
Amazing.
And plant and grow.
Thank you so much, Jackie and Tanya.
Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you.
A one-stop shop digital marketing and social media resource. Join our membership academy for 12 months. Access a library of how-to videos, template strategies, and organizational policies. Monthly live coaching. Attend webinars with subject matter experts. Meet and network with public sector pros from across the world. Use the code MEMBERSHIP20 for a 20% discount.
Visit publicsectormarketingpros.com.
In today's episode, I want to introduce you to our brand new knowledge product, and it's called Social Media Done For You. Think of it as like social media in a box. All the tools, strategies, and policies that you would need to implement great social media within your government or public sector agency. We've just released it on our website, publicsectormarketingpros.com, and you have lifetime access. And this includes any updates that I make to the resources. So what can you expect? Well, you have a template social media strategy, you have a range of social media policies, you have a 365-day inspiration calendar for social media, you also have checklists when it comes to hashtags, social and live video, auditing of your social platforms, and you also have template graphic designs that we have created in Canva, and all of these come with tutorial videos. So if you want our Social Media Done For You product, go ahead, check it out on our website, and really the price is amazing.
Level up your digital skills by taking our diploma in digital marketing, plus gain an industry qualification. Use the code DigitalMarketing20 for a 20% discount.
Visit publicsectormarketingpros.com.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Public Sector Marketing Show. As always, we have a free resource to give you. And our next webinar is LinkedIn for Leaders in the Public Sector. So if you want to lead out in your organization or indeed in your sector, be sure to join me. It will be action-packed with tips and tactics. If you haven't already, please share the show with a public sector pro that you know. We are gaining momentum on the podcast platforms and our audience is growing. I always really appreciate those of you who tune in religiously every week. For now, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next show.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Public Sector Marketing Show. This episode has ended, but your digital journey can continue. Head over to publicsectormarketingpros.com to access resources and links mentioned in today's show and to connect with Joanne and her team. Until the next time, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast platform.